In today's Leeds news, UK's biggest fan park comes to Leeds, work ethic fills in for Stack absence, how Leeds can become an established Premier League side, under-18s win, possible Harrison-Fiorentina future, Gelhardt Rangers move ruled out, and rumour mill territory on Lois Openda. Morning folks, welcome to the Leeds View news for your news for Thursday the 16th of April. Jerry here, I hope your week is going really well. We will have a preview to the weekend's game over on bigup.com tonight about 7 o'clock. You can check that out if you are floating around and want to have a chat. It might be a little bit later today. I've got a meeting that I have to go out to book. Just keep an eye on Big Up and we'll be live as soon as we can this evening with the preview for what will be a massive game for Leeds United against Wolverhampton Wanderers this coming weekend. Also, you can check out this week's podcast, myself, Jerry and Paul. I'll link it at the end of today's video as well. Right, there's a lot of stuff to get stuck into today. So we'll start off though with UK's biggest fan park coming to Leeds. Everyone's fighting to get tickets for the semi-final at Wembley, but not everyone's going to be successful in that, and I fall into that bracket as well. But tickets are selling really quickly for the FA Cup semi-final. We'll find out on Friday who the last batch of people are to get tickets, if there's any tickets left even come Friday. But there is another option should you not be successful in getting a ticket for the semi-final, and it comes with a fan park coming to Leeds to try and get as many Leeds fans together in one place to enjoy the semi-final. Fingers crossed, a really good day that sees us get into an FA Cup final. For the fans, have launched a dedicated Leeds United fan park for the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea. The event will take place at the O2 Academy in Leeds. It's on Saturday the 26th of April, and they expect to have about 2,000 Leeds United fans in the park viewing the game on the biggest screen in Leeds. Now, for the fans, have also confirmed that there will be a TV presenter to host the event on the day, and a Leeds United legend will also be in attendance. The tickets for this are really cheap. I've linked them down below in the description, so if you're interested, you can go and click that link and bring you straight over. They're only £9.50. They've been selling really well, and the last batch of tickets went on sale yesterday, so you can check them out if you want it. If you are bringing your families, there is an age range on this. It's 8 years plus for anyone who does want to attend. The link, as I say, is down below. Now, if I don't get tickets for the FA Cup semi-final, we are planning on working with for the fans, and we might be doing a live watch-along from the event as well. We'll give you more detail on that when the ticket situation has all been confirmed. But if you're a regular on our watch-alongs, if you're going to be there, we'd love to get you involved in this as well. But check out the link down below, £9.50. And if you want to go ahead and get to the event, if you're unlucky enough not to get a ticket for the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley, you can get together in Leeds instead. Let's move on. Former Leeds United assistant manager Gus Poyet has been speaking about Leeds, and he believes that Leeds have got enough to manage with the absence of Anton Stack for the run-in, and have shown a united togetherness over the course of this season, which will be enough for Leeds to achieve their goals. Poyet was speaking to Leeds Live and sees Leeds' current situation as an opportunity for other players within the squad to step in and make a name for themselves at a very important part of the season. He said this: Leeds have enough cover to suffer the loss of Anton Stack. It's a squad game, and I believe that Leeds have done well this season because the squad are united. So with Stack now injured, this gives a chance for one of the other members of the squad to come and take their chance at such a crucial time of this season. There is plenty of quality to come in to the team. I feel Wolves' game this Saturday becomes Leeds United's biggest game of the season. A win there will go a long way to securing Leeds United's future in the Premier League. It's the biggest game until the next biggest game, which will be the week after that, should it not go our way. But Poyet believes Leeds need to approach this the exact same way they approached the Manchester United game, with a heavy work ethic and drive. And that, as we saw against Manchester United, and we've seen it against the bigger sides, inverted commas, bigger sides in the Premier League, top 6 sides this season, that when Leeds have a real go at teams, they can make an impact. The work rate has been a massive part of that. And Poyet on that said this: it's continuing the very good work ethic that they've had until now. Keep working hard as a team and defending well, but also creating chances for Calvert-Lewin and others to score. Now, Poyet does go on to say and believes the Leeds will need to try and score more goals in the upcoming matches if they are to stay safe in the Premier League. He believes they're playing against sides that will convert chances, and Leeds have to be better at converting their chances and opportunities when they get them. But he does say, and he believes, the Leeds United can and will stay in the Premier League. We move on. As we get closer and closer to safety in the Premier League, fingers crossed, touch wood, all the good stuff. Plenty of people have been speaking about Leeds United's future in the Premier League. And from the start of this summer, PSR is dead and SCR replaces it. Our squad cost ratio model will come in. And for a little bit of time, Leeds United might be in a slightly worse off position under this model, but if they can stay in the Premier League for a couple of years, they could end up benefiting from the new model. Now, football finance expert Stefan Borson has been speaking a lot about Leeds United's finances in the last couple of days, and he believes that if Leeds United can stay in the Premier League and break the yo-yo club mould and really manage the wage bill, then Leeds United could become a very strong established Premier League club and could see some positive financial success down the road. And he said this: we know that lots of clubs have really made a choice and gone down the route where they say, look, either we're going to invest heavily on a wage bill and gamble, or we're going to be very reserved on a wage bill and accept that we're probably going to get relegated straight away. We will try to do that 3 or 4 times, and then in 5 or 6 or 7 years' time, we'll start to invest more. And that's just not going to work for Leeds United. What they need to do is just somehow try and put a few seasons together, then start to gradually increase the wage spend, which is a good proxy for where you're going to finish, and hope also that 1 or 2 of the relegation places are taken up by clearly inferior teams. Now, Leeds' additional investment last summer by the current set of investors, the new investors that came in over the course of this year, could go a long way towards helping Leeds United with this model and giving them a little bit more capital to spend. But it is going to be another summer where Leeds have to just be really sensible and try and buy players like they did last summer who are interested in playing for Leeds United and buy into what Leeds are trying to do, rather than just coming here to get Premier League money. And that's the mistake we made the last time we were in the Premier League, and that came back to bite us on the arse. So this time around, they need to get this one right and continue to do what they did last summer with any of the recruits they bring in this summer. Get them to buy into the model and get them to buy into Leeds rather than the big wages of the Premier League. And if they can do that, they can manage the wage bill, then Leeds could be in a very strong position in a year or two's time. We'll move on. And some academy results now. And good news for one of Leeds United's academy sides. The under-18s took on Middlesbrough yesterday at Thorpe Arch and came out 3-2 winners. The goals for the Leeds 18s came from Louis Dudley, Edward Ibrovich-Fletcher and Callum Mills. Ibrovich-Fletcher is settling in quite well to the under-18s. He's also made his under-21 debut this year as well. And that Louis Dudley's been a regular involved in the Leeds United under-21 side as well, which I keep talking about how young that under-21 side is. But yeah, great work by the lads. Well done to them. A good win. And we'll move on and get into some talk about Jack Harrison's future again. I mean, Jack Harrison's future at this stage is changing week to week. Reports coming out of Italy, but Harrison has possibly turned a corner and may have a chance of a permanent stay at Fiorentina after getting heavy criticism, it's fair to say, from the local media as well as their sporting director, who talked about his lack of match impact. But since then, Jack Harrison's gone on a really, really strong run. He's starting more games and he's starting to contribute with assists as well. He's got 3 assists in 6 starts this season in the league, as well as 1 in the cup as well. And Fiorentina have just got a £6 million option to buy should they decide to turn this loan into a permanent move. And he's starting to do things at the right time of the year if he wants to influence that. And speaking on his future, he said this: I'm very happy in Florence. The city is incredible. So is the club. As far as the future, any player would obviously be happy to play here. We will see what happens. Fiorentina have got just 6 games left and they currently sit 8 points above the relegation zone. So the goal of bringing in players like Harrison and like Manor Solomon to try and get them out of trouble has worked up until this point. A few more positive performances from Jack Harrison might change their mind on him and might make this move possible for him. It's a big might at this stage because you just don't know what's going to happen. And the reason we keep covering this is from a Leeds perspective. This is really, really important that this loan goes well for Jack's future away from Leeds. Any chance Leeds have of bringing in some money, and more importantly, we talked to the wage bill under the squad cost ratio model, getting Jack Harrison's very high wage off the Leeds United wage bill. So fingers crossed this goes well for Jack and it goes well for Leeds in the next coming weeks. We'll move on and talk about Joe Gelhardt. There was reports earlier, well, there was reports a couple of months ago that claimed that Rangers had hope of signing Joe Gelhardt given the working relationship that they've got with Leeds United at this point. Rangers had got initial interest in Joe Gelhardt before the 49ers bought into the club, but they were hoping that since the clubs have started working together, it would make it much easier for them to try and get the player in the summer. That isn't the case, though, according to ex-Aston Villa and Aberdeen CEO Keith Windus, who believes that it will be financially difficult for Rangers to try and bring Joe Gelhardt north of the border. Windus believes that Gelhardt's form this season and Leeds' desire to maximise a sale of the player means that no side in Scotland would be in a position to sign Joe Gelhardt this summer. Now, from a Leeds perspective, all of that depends on how he finishes the season and the volume of interest in him coming into the summer. The more clubs interested in Joe Gelhardt, the higher the value goes, the easier it is for Leeds to get what they want for him. If there's not that huge amount of interest and it's a case of Hull competing against Rangers for him, then Rangers are very much in with a shout. But at this point, the connection between Leeds and Rangers it's just linking Leeds players with Rangers moves nearly every second week. Joe Pirro has been linked on a daily basis with a move to Glasgow Rangers without any real credible reports at this stage. It just feels like a very obvious thing to happen in the summer, and Gelhardt's falling into that bracket at the moment as well. We know Hull City want him, and we'll see how it goes in the next couple of weeks. Let's move on. We've only got 4 games left. Right, into some rumour mill territory, and this is proper rumour mill stuff here, and I'm not 100% sure I buy into any of this, but I'll give you the news. We'll keep track of it, and we'll deal with it when the summer comes around. But according to Calcio Mercato, they believe that Juventus are ready to offload Lois Openda this summer, and they believe that Leeds United are one of several clubs that have a differing level of interest in the player. And that could just be a case that Leeds have inquired about him, Leeds have looked at him, Leeds have scouted him, or Leeds genuinely don't have any interest in the player at all. And this is where it gets a bit silly. The outlet claim that Juve want 30 million euros, so about 26.5, 27 million pounds for Openda. And in the same article, Calcio Mercato say that only a crazy club would pay that kind of money for the player. They go on to say that they believe that Leeds United could have a possibility of getting him on loan for a season with an option to buy, but it all feels very much like an agent trying to drum up interest and links with a player who's not had a good season at Juventus, and career at Juve appears to be over. His best season came in the Bundesliga in 23-24 when he scored 28 goals for Red Bull. But since then, he's followed that up with 13 goals in all competitions the following year and just 2 goals in all competitions in Italy this year. Now, the Bundesliga, the Premier League are slightly more comparable than Italy. We've seen players go to Italy and struggle. We've seen players in the Bundesliga come to the Premier League and do very, very well. Who've had good times in the Bundesliga, so you never know. But this one, to me, just doesn't feel right at all, considering the strikers Leeds are being linked with. Again, if there's any interest in them, this one to me just feels like it's a pure agent speak at this point. So look, we'll see. We'll add it to the list and we'll no doubt rubbish it once the summer transfer window opens. Folks, that'll be it for me today. Massive thanks, as always, for supporting the channel. Keep an eye on bigup.com if you want the preview show for the game against Wolverhampton Wanderers this weekend. We will have a watch-along of some description on Saturday as well, and you can check out yesterday's news if you want to do that as well. That'll be it. Talk to you later. See ya.